Hi everyone, welcome to the NEET PYQ series of JZ classes. This is the part 2 of projectile motion. If you haven't watched the part 1, the link of the video is provided in the description. Please go and watch the part 1 and after that come and watch the part 2. So let's begin. Before going to do the problems, let's recap the important concepts and equations of projectile motion. As you know, the projectile motion we are studying is a two-dimensional motion. It has a motion in x direction and also it has a motion in the y direction. Its initial velocity is u and it is projected with an angle theta. So the x component of velocity is u cos theta and the y component of velocity is u sin theta. And the main equations are, the first equation is of time of flight. The time of flight means the total time taken by the particle to complete this projectile motion. The time of flight t is equal to 2u sin theta divided by g. And the next equation is of the maximum height. Maximum height is the maximum vertical height or maximum vertical distance that is attained by this particle undergoing projectile motion. So the maximum height is represented by h, and h is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g. And the next is the max horizontal range. Horizontal range is the horizontal distance that is covered by the particle that is undergoing projectile motion. And the horizontal range is represented with the letter r, and r is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. And the next important equation is of the equation of trajectory. Equation of trajectory means it is an equation that describes the motion of the particle along the parabolic path of the projectile motion. So the equation of trajectory, y is equal to x tan theta minus half gx square divided by u square cos square theta. So these are the important equations of projectile motion. I know that most of you know these equations. Please recall these and let's do the problems. Let's do the first question. The horizontal range and the maximum height of a projectile are equal. Then we have to find the angle of projection on the projectile. So it is given that in a projectile motion, its maximum height, that is this h value, and this r, that is the horizontal range, both these are equal. This h is equal to r. Then we have to find out this angle of projection, is theta. So please take down the question and try to do it yourself. After that, together we will solve this question. The maximum height h of a projectile is given by u square sine square theta divided by 2g, and the range r is given by u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So let's do the ratio of h and r. H by r is equal to u square sine square theta divided by 2g multiplied by the reciprocal of the denominator, g divided by u square sine 2 theta. So therefore this g and this g cancels, this u square and u square cancels, and we have sine square theta. Sine square theta is sine theta into sine theta divided by 2 into sine 2 theta, and sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. Sine theta cos theta. Therefore the sine theta and sine theta cancels and we will get h by r is equal to, what is sine theta by cos theta? Tan theta. Therefore tan theta divided by 2 into 2, that is 4, or 4h is equal to r tan theta. This 4h is equal to r tan theta. And in this question it is given that h is equal to r and we have to find theta. We have given h is equal to r and we have to find theta. For h is equal to r gives 4h is equal to r tan theta. Since h and r are equal, we can cancel both and we will get tan theta is equal to 4. And the angle theta will be equal to tan inverse of 4. So the option is tan inverse 4. Option B is the correct answer. H is equal to that is given in the this condition is given in the question, and we are applying it, and h and r cancels and tan theta equal to 4 and theta is equal to tan inverse 4. Question number 2. A projectile is fired at an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal. Elevation angle of the projectile at its highest point as seen from the point of projection is. So it is given in the question that a projectile is projected at an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal. So this is the horizontal, this is the initial velocity. The angle between this initial velocity and the horizontal, it is the angle of projection, it is given as 45 degree. So it is given in the question, and we are asked to find out the elevation angle of the projectile. So what is an elevation angle? So let's see what an elevation angle means. For a projectile motion, there will be only one angle of projection. But for each point on the projectile, we can draw a line with a point on the projectile and it's the point of projection. So we can draw a line joining a point on the parabolic path and the point of projection. The angle made by this line and this horizontal is the elevation angle. So we can make different elevation angles for each point on the projectile. For suppose for this point, this angle will be beta. For this point, we can draw a line to the point of projection and we will get another angle of elevation, that is angle gamma. So for each point on the parabolic path of the projectile motion, we can draw a line joining that point and the point of projection. And the angle made by this line and the horizontal is known as the elevation angle. So we have to find out the elevation angle of the projectile at its highest point. So what is the elevation angle at its highest point? So we have the same projectile motion here. Its initial angle of projection is given as 45 degree. We have to find out the elevation angle of the projectile at its highest point. That is, this is the highest point of a projectile motion. At this point, from this point, we can draw a line to the point of projection. The angle between this line and this horizontal is known as the elevation angle. Let's denote it with alpha. So we have to find out this value of this alpha, and we are given that the angle of projection, it is 45 degree. That is the elevation angle of the projection at its highest point as seen from the point of projection. So this is the point of projection. This is the maximum height, that is the highest point, and the angle from this is known as the elevation angle. We have to find out the value of alpha. So let's try this. I will give you a small hint. In the last question, we have arrived at a relation, right? What's that? It's 4h is equal to r tan theta. We can use this relation to obtain the answer for this question. So this is a hint. Using this relation, find the answer to this question. So please try it. The angle of projection theta is given as 45 degree, and we have to find out the angle of elevation, that is alpha. So from this triangle, that is this triangle O A B, we know that tan alpha is equal to this h divided by OB. So what is this OB? This is the half of the range, that is, it is r by 2. Therefore, we can write tan alpha is equal to h divided by r by 2. So this is the first relation that is we are getting. And from the relation that we have obtained earlier, that is 4h is equal to r tan theta, we are given here that the angle of projection theta is equal to 45 degree. Therefore, 4h is equal to r into tan 45. What is tan 45? It is 1. Therefore, 4h is equal to r. So using this in this equation, we will get tan alpha is equal to, instead of r, we can use 4h. h divided by 4h divided by 2. So therefore this 2 and 4 cancels, we will get 2. And this h and h cancels, and tan alpha is equal to 1 by 2. Therefore alpha is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2. So this will be the answer. So we substitute what we did. We write from this triangle tan alpha is equal to h divided by r by 2. Why OB is r by 2? Because OB is the half of the range, that is r by 2. Therefore tan alpha is equal to h by r by 2. And from the last problem we know that 4h is equal to r tan theta. And we substituted the value of theta, that is angle of projection. Tan 45 is 1, therefore we get 4h is equal to r. Then we took this and substituted here, that is tan alpha is equal to h divided by 4h, and then 2 and 4 cancels 2, then h and h cancels, therefore tan alpha is equal to 1 by 2, and alpha is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2. So the correct option is option B will be the answer. Question number 3. A projectile is fired from the surface of the earth with a velocity of 5 meters per second and angle theta with the horizontal. So a projectile is projected from the surface of the earth and its initial velocity is 5 meters per second and the angle of projection is theta. That is, the angle with the horizontal is theta. Then another projectile fired from another planet, not from earth, it's from another planet, with a velocity of 3 meters per second at the same angle, follows a trajectory which is identical with the trajectory of the projectile fired from the earth. So therefore another projectile that is another projectile that is fired from another planet, and it has the initial velocity of 3 meters per second and same angle, that is angle of projection is theta. And therefore we have two projectiles here. One is that is projected from the earth with the initial velocity of 5 meters per second and the angle of projection theta. The second one is that is fired from another planet with the initial velocity of 3 meters per second and the angle of projection theta, that is same angle. And what else is given? Follows a trajectory that is identical with the trajectory of the projectile fired from the earth. Therefore both the projectiles follows same trajectory. It follows same type of trajectory. Then the value of acceleration due to gravity on the planet in meter per second. Therefore we have to find out the acceleration due to gravity at the planet from where the second projectile is fired. So we have two projectiles, one that is fired from the earth with initial velocity of 5 meters per second, angle of projection theta. The second projectile that is projected from another planet, not from earth. It is fired at the initial velocity of 3 meters per second and initial angle of projection is theta itself, and both follows the same trajectory. Then we have to find out the acceleration due to gravity on that planet. So it's a little bit lengthy question, but it's an easy one. So you can try this question with the equations of trajectory of the projectile. So please take down the question and try it by yourself, and after that we will solve it. We are given here two planets, that is, one is our earth and another one is another planet, and two projectile motions are happening in both these planets. And the first, in earth, it is having an initial velocity of 5 meters per second, and in the another planet it is having initial velocity of 3 meters per second, and the Angle of projection in Earth is theta, and the angle of projection in the planet is also theta. And the acceleration due to gravity in Earth, we know it is 9.8 meter per second square, but we don't know the acceleration due to gravity at this planet. We have to find this. And in the question it is given that both the projectiles in both the planets is having exactly similar trajectories. Therefore, the trajectory in Earth can be written as it is equal to x tan theta minus half into ge into x square divided by ue square cos square theta. This is the acceleration due to gravity in Earth, and it is the initial velocity in, and the trajectory in the planet it is given can be written as x tan theta minus half into gp into x square divided by up square cos square theta. So this is the trajectory in Earth, and this is the trajectory in the planet, that is the another planet. And we know that the trajectory in Earth can be equated with the trajectory in the another planet. So therefore these two terms will be on the either side of the equation. Therefore we can cancel the equal terms, that is x tan theta is common, half and half is common, cos square theta is common. Therefore we can cancel these terms. Therefore x tan theta and x tan theta get cancelled, half minus get cancelled, and we will get x square and x square get cancelled, cos square theta and cos square theta get cancelled. So why we cancel this? Because both these trajectories are equal, or they are exactly the same. Therefore we can cancel the common terms, and what's remaining is, from ye we have remaining is ge divided by ue square. Similarly from yp we get gp divided by up square. We have to find out the value of gp. Therefore gp is equal to ge into up square divided by ue square. So substituting the values, we have 9.8 into, what is up? Up is 3 meter per second. For 3 square is 9 divided by u is 5. 5 square is 25. And 9.8 into 9. So for 9 into 8 is 72, remainder 7. 9 into 9 is 81 plus 7 is 88.2 divided by 25. And multiplying both these by 4, we will get 100. Then 4 into 2 is 8. 4 into 8.32, remainder 3. 4 into 8 is again 32 plus 2 is 35. And 2 decimal points to here, we will get gp is equal to 3.528, or it is approximately equal to gp is equal to 3.5 meter per second square. So this will be the answer. So the gp will get 3.5 meter per second square. So we use the equation of the trajectory and we find out the value for gp, that is the acceleration due to gravity in the another planet. So this is what we have done, and we will get the answer for gp. So please take it down, and let's move to the next question. Question number 4. A particle of mass m is projected with velocity v, making an angle of 45 degree to the horizontal. So a particle of mass m is projected with a velocity v, that is its initial velocity, making an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal, that is it is the angle of projection, that is 45 degree. So when the particle lands on the level ground, that is it starts from here and it goes in its projectile motion and it lands on the level ground, the magnitude of change in momentum will be. So we have to find out the magnitude of change in momentum between the initial point and the final point when the particle lands on the level ground. So we have to find out the magnitude of change in momentum, that is the magnitude of change in momentum of the particle. So please try this using the concepts that we have learned so far. Okay, so please try this. We have to find out the change in momentum. So we have a projectile motion here. It is having an initial velocity v and the angle of projection theta is equal to 45 degree. So this is the point of projection, that is the initial point of the projectile motion, and finally it reaches this point, that is the level ground, the point on the level ground. So this is the final point. So this is the point B and this is the point A. So what we have to find out is, we have to find out the change in momentum of the particle at B and A. That is momentum of the particle at B minus momentum of the particle at A. That is, we have to find delta P, that is equal to PB, that is momentum at B minus momentum at A. So what is the momentum at A? So we have a momentum here, and is its velocity is v and the mass of the particle is m. Therefore, its momentum will be mv. Since the projectile motion is a two-dimensional motion, it is having x component of velocity and y component of velocity. Similarly, it will be having an x component of momentum, that is mv cos 45. Similarly, the y component of momentum is equal to mv sine 45. So what is mv cos 45? Cos 45 is 1 by root 2. Therefore, I can replace this cos 45 and I can write it here as root 2. Similarly, this sine 45 is also 1 by root 2, and therefore the y component of momentum at the initial point can be replaced with mv by root 2. So mv by root 2 is the x component of momentum is also mv by root 2, and y component of momentum is also mv by root 2. So as the projectile goes on and it reaches this point, that is the maximum height, the x component of velocity remains the same. Therefore, the x component of momentum will be the same. The y component of momentum will be 0. And when it reaches the level ground, the x component of momentum, that is the horizontal component of velocity, remains the same. Likewise, the horizontal component of momentum will always remains the same. It will be mv by root 2. And the y component of momentum, as it reaches this point, it will be 0, and from this point its direction changes and its magnitude starts to increase, and at this point it will be having same magnitude as this, but the direction will be opposite, that is minus mv by root 2. So the change in momentum is equal to the momentum at B minus momentum at A. So the net velocity is here. But as you see here, the x component of momentum always remains constant. This delta P is equal to the change in momentum in x direction, that is delta Px plus delta Py. But the change in momentum in x direction is 0, because why? The x component of momentum remains the same. Therefore, delta Px will be equal to 0. And this delta P will be equal to delta Py, that is the change in momentum in the y direction. That is the momentum, y component of momentum at B minus y component of momentum at A. Why didn't it take the x component? Because if we find the difference of the momentum in the x direction, it will be 0. Here it is also mv by root 2, here it is also mv by root 2. Taking the difference, it will be 0. Therefore, x component we can remove, and we have to only consider the y component. And the momentum at B is equal to minus mv by root 2 minus the y component of momentum at A is mv by root 2. Therefore, the momentum, the change in momentum becomes 2 into minus mv by root 2. 2 into minus mv by root 2. This root 2 and 2 get cancels and we will get root 2. And we have to find the magnitude of change in momentum. Therefore, the magnitude of change in momentum delta P is equal to this minus get cancelled, and we will have mv into root 2. So this will be the answer. Therefore, the magnitude of change in momentum, it is mv into. So the option C will be the correct answer. Question number 5. A particle A is dropped from a height and another particle B is projected in horizontal direction with a speed of 5 meters per second from the same height. Then the correct statement is particle A will reach at ground first with respect to B. B will reach first. Both will reach ground at simultaneously. A and B reach at ground with the same speed. So A is dropped from the height and B is projected in a horizontal direction with the speed of 5 meters per second and it's reached the ground. So which of these statements is correct? So you please try to do this and after that we will check the answer. A and B are the two particles that we have. So A is dropped down from a height. Let it be h height. So from this height we dropped A down. Okay. And in the case of B, from the same height, it is projected horizontally with a velocity u. It's 5 meters per second in the question. I take it as u here. So let's analyze both of these situations. For A, its initial velocity, that is the y component of velocity is 0, because A does not have any x component of velocity because it does not have any x direction of motion. It's only moving in the y direction. And its displacement is h and its acceleration ay is minus g. Okay, and we can write the sy, that is the displacement in the y direction, sy is equal to uy into t plus half ay into t square, and ui is 0 minus this sy is h, that is the displacement in negative direction, that is minus h is equal to minus half ay is g t square. Therefore the time taken t is equal to 2h by g the whole root. Therefore this is the time taken by the A to reach the ground. In a similar manner, B, that is projected in the horizontal direction, will move like this and it will reach at a point here. So it is also having a y component of velocity is equal to 0 because it's moving in the x direction. Its initial y component of velocity is 0 and its initial x component of velocity is u, and its y component of acceleration ay is minus g. Similarly, its displacement, that is in the downward direction, that is in the y direction, its displacement sy is equal to minus h. So writing equations for sy, we can write sy is equal to uy into t plus half ay into t square. This sy is minus h. Minus h is equal to ui is 0 plus half into minus gt square. Therefore t of b, that is time taken by b, is equal to 2h by g. So from these equations we can understand that both A and the particle B both take equal time. So both will reach simultaneously is the answer. So let's check what will happen to their velocities. Therefore the y component of velocity ui is equal to ui plus ay into t. That is the point where it reaches the ground, its y component of velocity is equal to initial velocity plus ay into t. Therefore it becomes ay, here ay is what? Minus g. Therefore vy is equal to minus g into t. So it does not have any x component of velocity. Therefore the net velocity v is equal to root of vx square plus vy square, but it does not have an x component of velocity. Therefore vx is 0, and putting vy here, we will get v is equal to root of gt the whole square. This is the velocity at ground for the particle A. And for the particle B, vy is equal to what? Ui plus ay into t. Similarly, we will get the same result here because ui equal to 0 and ay is minus into t. Therefore vy is equal to minus gt. And vx is equal to ux plus ax into t. So from here, what is the x direction? Initial velocity in the x direction, it's u. acceleration in the x direction, initial acceleration in the x direction. There is no acceleration in the x direction. Therefore, ax is 0. Therefore, this part becomes 0 and ux is equal to u. Therefore, vx is equal to u. Therefore, the net velocity v at this bottom point here is equal to root of vx square plus vy square. Substituting the values for vx and vy, we will get it as u square plus gt the whole square. So this is the velocity of the particle A at the bottommost point, and this is the velocity of the particle B at the bottommost point. From this we can understand that the velocity of the particle B will be more compared to the velocity of the particle A. So both the particle A and B will reach the ground same time, but the velocity of the particle B will be greater than the velocity of the particle A. That is, VB is greater than VA. So please take it down. That's all about projectile motion. I hope you have understood the problems that we have done here. These problems are a little bit difficult than the problems in the first part. But it's easier if you understand the concepts and learn the equations, you can do the problems in a better way. So see you in the next video with more beautiful concepts in physics and more beautiful NEET previous year questions. So I wish you all the best. So do more problems, practice more, study well for the exams. God bless you all. See you in next video. Thank you.